Welcome to X Confessions Unlocked, where X secrets spill, revenge gets served, and sometimes X's come crawling back. Subscribe now for real, unfiltered stories about love gone wrong, and sometimes very right. Drop a comment with your X drama. Yours could be next.
Let me ask you something. Have you ever looked into the eyes of the man who swore to love you forever, and realized he's been lying to you from the very beginning? I have. And the worst part? I didn't even see it coming. One minute, I was standing in our penthouse overlooking Manhattan, thinking I had the perfect marriage. The next, my husband slammed divorce papers on our marble kitchen island and said the words that would change everything. Sign them by Friday, or I'll destroy you. His voice was ice. His eyes? Empty. Like I meant nothing. And that's when I knew. This wasn't a threat. This was a mistake. His mistake. Because he thought I'd beg. He thought I'd cry. He thought I was weak. But what he didn't know, I had already started playing my game. And by the time he realized it, it was too late. But let's go back. Because this story, it doesn't start with a divorce. It starts with a lie. Manhattan, New York. 8 months earlier. The first time Nathaniel threatened to leave me, we were at Cipriani downtown, celebrating our 5th anniversary. At least, I thought we were celebrating. He spent half the dinner texting someone under the table. When I asked who it was, he didn't even look up. A client. Unlike you, some of us actually work. The word stung, but I forced a smile. That's what I did back then, smiled through the cuts. Then came the check. He tossed his black Amex on the table and said, "You're lucky I pay for this lifestyle. Remember that the next time you want to interrogate me." The waiter pretended not to hear. I pretended not to care. But that night, as I lay in our $5,000 Italian linen sheets, staring at the ceiling, something inside me shifted. Because this wasn't the man I married. The man I married wrote me love notes. The man I married held my hand at every party. The man I married never made me feel small. But this Nathaniel? This Nathaniel came home at 3 a.m. smelling like Chanel No. 5, a perfume I didn't wear. This had passwords on phones he never had before. This Nathaniel looked at me like I was inconvenient. And then one rainy Tuesday, he finally said it out loud. I want a divorce. Just like that. No warning. No discussion. We were in the middle of a fight, something stupid about me nagging him about missing his mother's birthday, when he suddenly went dead silent. Then he walked to his briefcase, pulled out a folder, and dropped it on the bed like it was nothing. Sign these. Or I'll make sure you walk away with nothing but the clothes on your back. I laughed. Because surely, this was a joke. But his face? Dead serious. I picked up the papers. My hands shook. This wasn't just a threat. This was premeditated. He'd had these drawn up. He'd planned this. And that's when I realized. This wasn't about a fight. This wasn't about his mother's birthday. This was about her. Whoever she was. So I did something he never saw coming. I looked him straight in the eye. And I said yes. His reaction? Priceless. Because Nathaniel didn't want a divorce. He wanted control. And I had just taken it from him. You want to know the moment a man realizes he's lost? It's not when you walk away. It's when you smile and say, "You're right. Let's do exactly what you want." That's when the fear hits. And Nathaniel? He was terrified. 3 days after the ultimatum, the papers sat on the kitchen island for exactly 72 hours. Daniel kept walking past them, eyeing them like they might bite him. He expected tears. Screaming. Me on my knees begging him to stay. Instead, I hired a lawyer. Not just any lawyer. Lena Vasquez. The woman who took a tech billionaire for half his empire in a divorce so brutal, Wall Street still whispers about it. When I met her in her sleek Tribeca office, she didn't ask if I was sure. She didn't offer tissues. She just leaned forward, stiletto nails tapping her desk, and said, "Tell me everything. Especially the dirty parts." So I did. The secret credit cards. The business trips to Miami. The way he'd started transferring money to an offshore account 6 months ago, like I wouldn't notice. Lena's smile was razor sharp. Oh, this is going to be fun. Nathaniel thought he was so clever. He thought hiding her would protect them both. But men like him? They always slip up. One name. That's all it took. Claire. A whisper from his assistant when she thought I couldn't hear. A name etched on a hotel receipt left in his jacket. A face, blonde, polished, late 20s, smirking at me across a restaurant 2 weeks before the ultimatum. I hired a PI. What he found. Claire wasn't his mistress. She was his paralegal. And the kicker? She was married too. To a hedge fund manager with a temper and a very expensive security team. Oh, Nathaniel. You didn't just cheat. You cheated with a woman whose husband could bury you. Lena didn't just find the offshore account. She found 3. All under shell companies. All funneled through the Caymans. All funded right around the time Nathaniel started coming home late. Here's the funny part, Lena said, sliding a document toward me. He didn't just hide money from you. He hid it from the IRS. I almost felt bad for him. Almost. Nathaniel called me at 2:17 a.m. 2 weeks after I filed. His voice was ragged. We need to talk. I could hear the panic. The oh God we've done shaking in his breath. I stayed silent. The papers you filed. Lena Vasquez. He choked. You can't do this. I finally spoke. You're right. I can't. A beat of relief. Then I shattered it. But the IRS can. And Claire's husband? Oh, he definitely can. The gasp on the other end? Delicious. The next morning, Daniel showed up at our penthouse with coffee, my favorite order, the one he always forgot to get right. His hands shook as he held it out. I made a mistake. I took a slow sip. No. You made choices. Now live with them. He crumpled. What do you want? Name it. I didn't even blink. Everything. There are 2 kinds of revenge. The messy kind, screaming, lawyers, police reports. And then there's my kind. The kind where he hands me everything he ever took, and thanks me for taking it. 2 months after the fallout. Nathaniel sat across from me in Lena's office, his tailored suit hanging off him like he hadn't slept in weeks. You win, he croaked. I sipped my espresso. I know. Lena slid the final agreement across the table. Sign here, here, and here. Or we file this with the IRS by 5 p.m. She didn't need to specify what this was. The offshore accounts. The shell companies. The felonies. Nathaniel's pen scratched like a death rattle. When he finished, he looked up, desperate. Now delete the evidence. I tilted my head. Oh, Daniel. Did you really think this was just about money? His face went pale. Because he finally understood. This wasn't a negotiation. It was a surrender. Claire's husband, Marcus, didn't send threats. He sent a bottle of champagne. Attached? A note. Thanks for the heads up. I will divorcing her. Keep the evidence, I'll need it. Turns out, Marcus had been looking for an excuse to ditch his gold-digging wife for years. And Nathaniel? He just handed it to him on a silver platter. 6 months later, I stood in a private villa in Santorini, adjusting my veil in a floor-length mirror. My phone buzzed. A text from Nathaniel, you're really doing this? I smiled and typed back, RSVP by Friday. Or should I forward those IRS files? He read it. He didn't reply. But he did show up. Nathaniel sat in the back row of the ceremony, jaw clenched, watching me glide down the aisle toward him. The new him. Luca Moretti. Italian. Billionaire. And, most importantly, a man who'd never once made me feel small. As the priest pronounced us husband and wife, I locked eyes with Nathaniel across the crowd and winked. His face twisted in rage. But here's the thing about rage. It's powerless. Just like him. So what happened to Nathaniel? Oh, he's fine. If you call fine living in a studio apartment, paying alimony, and watching my wedding photos trend on page 6. As for me, I kept the penthouse, the offshore accounts, and the man who actually deserves me. Never threaten a woman who knows your secrets, especially when she's smarter than you. Comment what you'd have done if you were me. Share and subscribe to my channel.